Putting someone in jail for having drugs for personal use isn't going to do anything for anybody. Because when someone comes out of jail, they're straight back onto drugs. It has to be something that breaks the chain or breaks the cycle. And the only way I think that might work, even though we've never tried it as a city or as a country, but it feels to me that the only thing we seem to not really have tried with any great degree or any weight is compassion, you know? It's to sort of try and find a way of treating human beings like they are human beings and say, you're not a criminal, you have a problem, and we really want to try and help. I mean, when you're very young and you've no life experience, you do have the attitude, yeah, I'd never be stupid enough to do drugs. Only ticks do drugs, you know. It's not a reality. And then you know, as you get older, you want to meet new people and you want to experiment, and then drugs arrive. They arrive in every part of society. You know, there's this great myth that drugs is this working class problem, and you know, working class people get into drugs and middle class people make the odd mistake. You know, and that's a load of bollocks. Some people fall foul of it and other people get to walk away from it. I'm lucky, you know, I never got into it. And it's luck. It's luck. It didn't suit me. Two lads that I used to know that aren't around anymore. I remember these desperate attempts to try and stop. And I mean desperate attempts, out of control attempts, you know, finding GPs that would give them prescriptions that weren't worth a shit. Where just nobody seemed to have the expertise, there just didn't seem to be anywhere to go, or didn't seem to be anyone for them really to talk to. And us being us, you just make it kind of a joke. It was funny for a long time. You're fucking laughing at these lads, friends of yours, because you don't know what else to do. They're laughing with you, you know. And now they're not around anymore. Now it's not so fucking funny anymore. You know, you're looking at drug addicts, and what you're really looking at is people who have an illness, people who are sick, addicts. Same way you look at people who have any addiction problems. And those people need help. You get, some parts of society get 10, 12, 13, 14 chances to get out of the shit they're in. And another side of society gets one. It's funny the way people will say, you build success on failure. The road to success is built on failure. Unless it's getting off drugs, then it's fuck you. No, we tried and he went back on it. Fuck him. But everything else is grand. Everything else is grand. You know what I mean? If you're in college and you drop out 6 times and daddy puts you back in, and then eventually you get the degree by the skin of your teeth, you did it. Fair play to you. You failed, but you got there in the end. Why can't you apply that to people who have a drug problem? We're going to arrest you and we're going to put you in a box because we agree you're a piece of shit. Because you're picking people up who have no belief in themselves, who don't like themselves, who are savagely addicted to something that's destroying them. And they think horrible things about themselves, and you turn around and you agree with that. And then you wonder, whoa, why is this problem keep going? We're locking up as many people as we can. Well, this is maybe we're all playing our part that way. And when Mr. Politician man comes knocking on the door, Mr. Councillor man looking for your votes, he's not going to come around and say, it's a much tougher sell to say, we're going to try and help addiction in the area, we're going to try and build a clinic or put it, you know, we want to place a safe place here for people to go and use needles. That's a much harder sell than we're going to get them fuckers off the street there and we're going to move them on out of there and we're going to clean this area. It's a much easier sell, and I honestly think that that's what it is. The Irish way of any problem we've ever had in Ireland, with the way we deal with it, is to pretend it's not there until it gets so big that we're all affected. That's the Irish way of dealing with problems. It is, you know. Catholic Church, yeah, well, where does that end? Well, you know what I mean. The Catholic Church, you know, if we're all talking about it, if we're all saying what's going on, it would have been reined in years ago, you know. I was born in Bessborough House because people weren't allowed to talk about wanting to have sex and getting pregnant, and it was such a shame. I was born in Bessborough House because a woman was sent away from where she lived to live with nuns while everybody told lies about where she was, and it ended in tears. Cloak and dagger and secrets and lies, they get us nowhere. They get us into huge big holes, and we all look great. We can walk around smiling, but the problems get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the drug problem is no different. We can act and pretend that it's not a problem, but the thing is, it is everywhere. You know, and talking about things is very uncomfortable. It's very hard. It's actually bloody awful, to be honest with you. Nobody, especially for lads, we don't talk about anything. Like, I don't like talking about anything. I'm struggling talking to you now, like. But the truth is, it does make things better, you know? Like, if you have somebody who's able to tell their story has the knock-on effect that somebody can hear it. But unless you start to normalise the conversation around it, you never get there. So the next time you see someone and you know they're addicted to drugs, or the next time you hear a story about someone that's really in a bad place, or is, you know, going to prison for personal use drug offences, or getting locked up, or getting criminal records for it, just imagine for a second it's your sister, or your brother, or your son, or your daughter, or worse still, your ma or your dad. Just for a second, and ask yourself, Jesus, what would I do if I was related to that person? The benefits of decriminalising people who are caught with drugs, personal use is, I mean, there's so many. First of all, you're not ruining someone's life over a handful of you know, drugs. Think about it. You know, you're leaving someone with options in their life. You know, when it comes to having a CV, prison, like a criminal record, or whether they're able to travel, and maybe taking attention off the people who have single use, will put it right back up the chain. You can get the real bad guys for a change. Because it's funny how we'll all give out about it. Shouting out the window of the guard, go and get the real bad boys. It doesn't work. You have to change the law. So you have that, you know, you have those resources. It's financially better for us. It's better for us with people and options. It's just better all around. It's better for society as a whole. Everything changes. If you stop criminalising every single person that is caught with drugs on them, it's better for everyone.